Another civics lesson for students at Wright Middle School today.
As the governor signs new education bills into law. News 3 political reporter Jessica Arp tells us what it means for the state, Jess.
Well, state education leaders say it means Wisconsin is better positioned to get federal race to the top grant funding, but also that the work to become more competitive isn't complete.
Our schools are made stronger by the 4 pieces of legislation being signed today.
In the same building where the president called for states to reform their schools and laws that govern them, the governor signed off on his answer.
There it is. They're all law now.
4 bills, the most controversial, allowing teacher pay and evaluation to be tied to student test scores, are now law.
It's an enormously important opportunity for school districts to really now come up with the criteria and how they do it and lay it out what that evaluation process is.
But whether they do that is a question. Teachers and their unions made efforts to ensure that evaluations wouldn't lead to firing.
Well, I think that the protections that were a part of this, and that made it somewhat controversial with people who wanted it to go farther, really do a great deal to allay the fears of those who are in those classrooms that somehow the system is going to be used against them.
But lawmakers say the work isn't over.
We still need to address the extent which the state has the authority to intervene directly in the state's lowest performing schools.
Now a special session will likely be called to move forward 2 more bills, giving the state superintendent power to intervene in failing districts and changing the governance of Milwaukee public schools.
But I think everybody understands these final 2 pieces do need to get done this year, and that we're going to have to, now that the regular session for the fall is over, we're going to have to do it.
But both the MPS bills and the superintendent control bill are rather controversial, even among Democrats. They're expected to be introduced and discussed in the coming weeks, and the governor says he'd like them taken up by the end of this year.
News 3 political reporter Jessica Arp tonight. Jess, thanks.
Thanks, Jessica.